was about the news. I was helping to bias the news. How embarrassing. Seriously, the scenario just made me just go, ew! I was a shopper in Cub Foods, had my mask on like everyone else, and I was approached with a question. I was really excited. I had never been interviewed. The reporter from the Star Tribune, who will remain nameless, had asked me, what do you think about buying your shoes in the same place where you buy your food? I mean, what do you think of that? I don't know, it sounds kind of gross to me. I don't think so. Well, little did I know that Hy-Vee was about to do that. And I was so taken by the whole experience, so quick that looking at his face, and granted, yes, we had the masks on, so all I could see was the eyes. But, you know, the saying, the eyes are the mirror of the soul. And his eyes were just contorted to this disgusting, this feeling of, oh, what do you think of that? So I, as a monkey, imitating what I saw, said, oh. Well, guess what happens next day in the paper? Well, didn't you know they're already doing that? Target's already selling shoes like that. I thought, yeah, sure, I knew that. I had just been imagining someone taking off their shoes, their smelly feet, right next to the tomatoes that I'm so excitedly buying. It just made my stomach turn. Wouldn't it have been nice if he had just asked more objectively, like, what do you think? Having the sale of shoes right next to produce. Objective. No. I was so mad later. I even contacted him. I said, it'd be really nice if you'd be more objective about your journalism. Not only that, but thanks to my meditation practice, I've gained even more awareness of situations. I recently realized he already had a person who liked the idea. He needed to show the flip side. He wanted to find someone to be his victim. Someone who would say, ew! So naturally, he put on the ick eyes. And I thought, I've been had. I was so mad. So I had to talk about being a dangerous consumer. Because then somebody consumes the wrong information. For the record, I really don't care as long as those shoes are on the opposite end of the produce, so I don't have to smell your feet that you were trying the shoes out with, okay? How are you going to be a dangerous consumer of news? First, just knowing how it can be slanted, because unless you hear the interviewer and see the interviewer, you don't know how the questions are being pitched. You also can notice how articles are written. In addition to that nasty situation I had, I also wanted to just be better informed about current affairs. I wanted to read more, and so I thought, well, start by at least analyzing how things are written to get yourself more involved. I'm already an analyst type of mind anyway, might as well use that to my advantage. What you're going to do is analyze an article. I can read this aloud. This is just the overview. Actually, I will read this aloud. And what you'll do is you'll turn your papers over. The way I chose this article was simply, what was a long enough article that gives us a chance to look at adjectives, verbs, whatever part of speech or part of the writing that might indicate an opinion other than neutral. I was not looking at, is the newspaper leftist, rightist? I honestly don't even know the difference at this point because I just don't think that way. People ask me, are you conservative or liberal? I get so confused by these terms, I just say, ask me about a certain topic, I'll tell you my opinion, then you can decide which side I'm on. I really don't care. those who are watching on YouTube and would love to know what we are analyzing, because you will each write or circle words that you find that you deem to be making the article slanted in some way. This is from St. Cloud. An emergency 3-week ordinance requiring people to wear face coverings inside public spaces in St. Cloud failed Monday night during a tense meeting where the presiding council member had to slam his gavel a handful of times to silence some of the few dozen onlookers interrupting the discussion. The emergency ordinance required approval by 5 of the 7 members of St. Cloud City Council. It failed on a 4-2 vote with Council President Jeff Borger absent. Our medical community is asking for our help, and I think it's incumbent upon us to help them out, said Carol Lewis, who asked that the mandate discussion be put on the agenda. We need to do better. Council members Mike Conway and Paul Brandmeier voted against the mandate, which came as a request by the area's largest healthcare system more than 2 weeks ago. COVID has been dangerous to our population. No one denies that Centracare is working hard. But the question before us tonight was about the wearing of masks to prevent spread, Brandmeier said. I've yet to see a reliable study which proves that masks have any impact whatsoever. Conway said a 3-week mandate isn't going to change anything. The numbers are already starting to go down, he said. The last paragraph says, Mayo Clinic's COVID-19 model is predicting the state's latest wave of coronavirus infections will peak this week and then rapidly decline. But health leaders, including Dr. George Morris of Centracare, have stressed how hospitalizations and deaths can continue to increase for a few weeks after the peak. Now for the next 4 minutes, let's have you look at the article, read it, and highlight what you deem is slanted in any way. There's no right or wrong, it's more a matter of building awareness. Go ahead.